Gratitude and abundance, infinite vibes are to help raise your awareness. Let's start by taking a collective deep breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Alright family, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 9 electromagnetic motors according to human design. These are otherwise known as your chakra points or your chakra centers. Now, before we go further and deeper into it, there's a lot of people out there who say, hey, there's more than 9 electromagnetic centers. That is absolutely true, but because this pertains specifically to the science of human design, we're going to focus on just the 9 electromagnetic motors. So let's begin. With the 9 electromagnetic motors, there's something that you need to know about your centers, all right? Each center is either defined or undefined. So when you look at your chart and you see the centers that are highlighted, those are the defined centers. And then the centers that are not highlighted, those are the undefined centers. So let's start from the top. So at the top of the chart, you have the crown electromagnetic motor, otherwise known as the crown chakra, all right? Now, with the crown motor, one way you can look at it is that it's something that sends information out into the collective circuitry, right? So the crown chakra, if activated, gives you the ability to send thoughts and ideas out into the environment around you. Now, if it's undefined and if it's open, right, that means that you're able to pick up thoughts and ideas in the environment around you, all right? So when you look at these centers, and let's say you have a bunch of centers undefined or open, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, all right? I know a lot of people will immediately look at it and think, oh no, there's something wrong with my design or with my chart, I'm open in all these centers. There's no good or bad to this thing. It's just, this is your blueprint, how you're designed, and basically you can utilize it to your advantage, how you want to carry it going forward, all right? Each of these have a gift and ability, both defined and undefined. Now, the second center that is in the chart, going from the top down, is the ajna, your third eye. Now, this is your conceptualization motor. So this chakra point allows you to process thoughts and information. And if it's defined, you do this in your own way. And if it's undefined, you'll basically do this in the way of those around you, by the collective or the tribal circuitry, whatever you pick up from them, being able to basically perceive the world through another lens, all right? And then if it's if it's closed, it's more so fixed. It's more so a fixed, ideology, a fixed way of viewing the world, right? You're able to process it in your own way. Now moving down to the next motor would be the throat electromagnetic motor. So the throat electromagnetic motor is basically the manifestation point, all right? When you speak, things come out into the world, into the realm, all right? You can see things, but you're seeing things externally. You can hear things, but it's coming from the outside. When you speak, it's the thing that's going outside. And so that's what makes this the manifestation motor. Now, people with the undefined throat have the ability to change their voice up. These are people who would be typically good at being like voice actors, singing, and so forth and so on. They would probably be very proficient in those areas in life. Now, moving forward, going down, actually, we're going to go down towards the identity center, the G center. Now, the G center, very straightforward, is associated with the liver, and then if it's open, if you have an open identity center, it means you're prone to things that are happening around your environment, right? You're a shapeshifter. You have the ability to shapeshift, mold yourself to basically fit into whatever environment you're in. And if you have a defined G center, a fixed identity center, you basically are fixed in your ways. You have a certain aspect of this is who I am, and this is what I'm about, and this is what I do. And so, with the open center, it's a bit different, where you're a bit more free-flowing and easygoing. With a defined identity center, you're a bit more stern and a bit more fixed in your ways, and it may be a bit harder to, change that. It's not impossible to change and to transform, obviously, but with a fixed identity center, it would take a bit more time. Next, we'll go to the heart electromagnetic motor, which is the heart chakra, and this is associated with willpower. Now, I know a lot of people often associate the heart chakra with love and, all of those wonderful things, but it's actually the center of your toroidal field, which basically is the center of your magnetic pole into whatever it is that you're attracting into your aura. All right, so if your willpower is defined, that means it's fixed, right? Obviously, you have the ability to control your willpower and the willpower of those around you, right? And if it's undefined, you have the ability to help those who have the activated willpower, or you're basically able to, be a very good support in regards to things that people have going on, right? Now, this is not to say that if your heart center is undefined, that you don't have your own willpower. You do. It's just not coming from the center of your toroidal field, and it's very easy for you to pick up influence or conditioning from other people's willpower. All right, so let's move on from that, and let's go down to the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is basically an emotional motor. It's where all the feelings prescribe. So if you have a defined solar plexus, you're basically putting emotions and feelings out into the environment. All right, so that means you're basically able to influence the way people feel. You're able to move energy into motion and make things happen. This is what makes you emotional authority, according to human design. All right. Now, if it's undefined, people would be generally categorized as empaths in regards to that type of situation. So if you have an undefined solar plexus, you pick up a lot of emotions or energy, emotions, and feelings from the environment or from the people around you. So remember, those emotions are not necessarily yours, but you can, use them to your advantage, much like everything else, right? It's the same thing with the crown electromagnetic motor. The thoughts may not be yours, but you can utilize those thoughts and ideas, right, if it's open. Then we move into the sacral, all right? Now, the sacral, this is where the love basically happens, right? The sacral electromagnetic motor. This is creative, expansive energy. When you give birth, when women give birth, typically, it comes from their private parts, which is associated with their sacral chakra. When men have sex with women, right, and they're looking to create a child or a baby, the semen will come out of the man's genitalia and go into the woman's. And so the sacral is creative, expansive energy, all right? And really you want to pay attention to what turns you on and what turns you off, because that's how the sacral basically operates. I'm going to cover this a little bit more in regards to like understanding strategy and authority in videos further down the line. Now moving forward, so before I go into the next part, the sacral being activated means you have a lot of energy to spare. All right, like you can keep going. Somebody with a defined sacral has constant expansive energy, and then somebody with an undefined sacral may not have as much energy as that person. All right, this does not mean that you can't keep up with people. It's just that you may not operate at the same intensity or the same speed as other people, mostly generator aura types, because they have the defined sacral. And then moving on from the sacral, we're going into the spleen. Now the spleen is all about your health, all right? Now the spleen is intuition. Your intuition is as strong as your health. So the better your intuition is, really depends on, how healthy you are as an individual. Now if you have a defined spleen, right? Your intuition is definitely, on point. Usually, you can trust your inner sense, your inner guidance, that gut feeling, and it'll take you to exactly where it is that you need to go. And typically you're gonna be taking action towards a healthier lifestyle, towards what your body needs in regards to health. That's how the spleen usually operates. And then an undefined spleen, these are people who are usually prone to allergies. The sense of direction is not necessarily like on point as much as somebody with a defined spleen. What else? Usually they're a bit empathic in the sense where, if somebody were to fall down and hurt themselves, they could basically feel the pain of that person in regards to the spleen. All right. So again, just because it's undefined, it doesn't mean that, you don't have intuition. It just may not be, as on point as somebody who has a defined spleen, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be healthy. It just means that, naturally you're going to want to watch your habits and your lifestyle and, the type of foods and intakes that you take into your body, because your spleen is undefined, all right? Now let's go into the root electromagnetic motor, the root chakra. So the root chakra is all about foundations, challenges, pushing yourself, right? So somebody with a defined root, their life is going to be constant evolution, all right? The type of evolution really depends on the channels and the gates that you have in your root electromagnetic motor. And if it's undefined, you're not necessarily designed to go about life looking for evolution, looking for growth, looking for expansion. That's not necessarily what the undefined root is for. The undefined root is a bit more free-flowing. Their evolution takes place in a different type of way, where it's more so with the ebb and flows of life, whereas a defined root will be constantly seeking the new challenges and then evolve from that. Okay, so we just covered everything from the crown electromagnetic motor down to the root electromagnetic motor. If you are interested in learning more about your human design and diving deeper into your spiritual journey, feel free to contact me. There's a link in the description below, and I look forward to connecting with you there. And other than that, look out for the next video. I hope everybody has an abundant day. Peace. Infinite vibes.